Hello and welcome back to Azure Terraformer. I am super excited about this episode. I just had to drop this video. But before I get into that, I want to thank my two new members, Richard Wong and Audie Govakar, who's a new Code Ninja member. Really appreciate you guys' support. And Audie, definitely send that code review my way. Looking forward to working with you more closely. Also, be looking out for our members only meetup and our Code Ninja squad getting back together with our new member, Audie Govakar. Thank you so much for all your support. Really appreciate you guys putting yourself out there and supporting me in the way that you do. Thank you so much. I have been working on a fork of a friend of mine's module, Matt White, that basically uses the AZ API provider in a really interesting way. This is a little skunkworks project that Matt and I were working on at HashiConf, literally at the Microsoft booth last year, HashiConf 2023. We were just kind of spitballing and we pulled out our laptops and we're like, let's try this out. And we proved out the theory, and Matt, took that, ran with it, created a module. Hats off to him for that. I wanted to experiment with this a little bit, so I've kind of refactored it and released it as my own variant of the module. And I wanted to demonstrate a really cool way that you could use this module, thanks to the 1.9 release of Terraform, to add Azure Region validation to all of your Azure Terraform solutions. What's the most common input variable on any Azure Terraform project? A location, a primary region, where you're going to deploy to. So, gone are the days where, typos are going to be there, or you don't know what the code is, or you don't know what the value is. This is going to be a really cool way to solve that problem, and to always make sure that you're in a supported region. So very cool. And there's lots of things that you can do this. We'll get into that later. Let's drop into the code. I have published this module on the module registry. So you can see I'm referencing it here. I've published it under a new GitHub home called the Azure Terraformer. I know if you've been following the channel, some of my other modules have been published under my own GitHub name, MarkTI. But this one I thought, maybe I should start publishing actual official Azure Terraformer modules. So we're starting it off with this one. So Azure Terraformer Regions, Azure RM 1.0.2. And I've also included an example in the repo that actually references the repo itself. So it's a little bit of a self-referential example, but it does work, right? So you can see here, all this root module is doing is going out and loading my module, which loads the regions. And so this would be basically like what your root module is going to look like. You would have an instance of this module, and then you would have an input variable for your deployment to be deployed to. And so right here, I got primary region. So just imagine, this folder right here called module registry, this is your root module. And these are your input variables. You probably have a whole bunch of them. I'm guessing one of them is going to be called location or primary region or primary location or whatever. It's probably going to be a type string, and you're probably going to have a default in there or whatever, right? Now you can add validation, and you can set a condition. Now let's see if GitHub Copilot does this for me. So yeah, it does a pretty good job. So you need a condition, you need an error message. So we'll throw that in there. I can't use a local. What I want to use is I want to use my module, and I'm going to say regions, and I'm just going to say supported, called all region names. And you want to pass in the primary region. Now let's try this out. Now let's see what happens here. So I'm going to put in West US 3, and we're going to see what it says. And we're good. Now let me try running this again. Let me put in West US 4. I guess that typo would have been good too. So there you go. West US 4 is invalid. So without doing anything, like I am basically querying Azure in production to verify this region that I'm entering is a valid region, and I'm doing that using this AZ API provider, using this module that I've developed, which you can go access and start using. Now, the really cool ramifications of this are using the filters that I've set up on this. You can also apply some constraints. So you can say availability zones are required, right? And then now the filters could potentially come back and say, you tried to put in a region that does not support availability zones. Here are the regions that do support availability zones, right? Likewise, we could also put in a geo filter for geography and say Switzerland, right? So I only want regions. I only want to allow the user to put in Switzerland-based regions that have availability zones, right? So you can put that into your code, and you can also validate the end user input. I mean, it's pretty cool. So anyways, let me know what your feedback is. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this module? Go check it out. It's available. It's at this. You can go use this code block. I'll link the module itself in the module registry, so you can go start playing around with it and submitting feedback to it. So hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think. This is the Azure Terraformer signing off.